Now, I'm not going to judge these people. They might have been very tired, but looks like they just pulled in and passed out. They could have pulled forward a few more feet and not blocked the road. Anyway, it's all good. My poor Silvia. Sorry I didn't cover you up last night. It was so windy, I was concerned that the cover would scuff the paint or become a parachute or even maybe pull you over. So, sorry about that. It's 41 degrees, about 6,000 feet in elevation. We are in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Tonight we'll be in Oakley, Kansas. About a 330-mile day. So, let's get on the road. I forgot to say, this is day 19 of our adventure.
You found a faster route.
Well, this was going to be my grand finale. Well, the video before the grand finale for the Oregon Trail trip, because Sand Creek Massacre happened in 1864, and a lot of the things that I talked about at the beginning of this trip happened in 1864. But guess what day I'm here? It's not one of those days. It's Wednesday. I had no clue that the park could be closed. There's really no development there that I remember. I think there are pit toilets and that's it. It's 8 miles of gravel road. I don't think there's a visitor center. So I'm not sure why it's closed. Never thought to even check. But I wanted to go to the Sand Creek Massacre site because it really was a massacre of the Indians. I talked in another video about 1864. The Indians had had enough. The immigrants had killed all the game, polluted the water. The government had broken many treaties and taken even more land away from the Indians. And while the nation was involved in the Civil War, there was an uprising. I think I read about 100 people were killed. There were peaceful groups of Indians that tried to get along with the immigrants and with the military. And there was a group of about 500 with several chiefs that had talked to the military, and the military had told them to camp at Sand Creek for their safety. And so they did, but that still wasn't good enough. They even had the American flag and a white flag flying from one of the lodges of one of the chiefs. And in late 1864, I don't have the exact date, the military surrounded the village and killed approximately 200 people, men, women, children, anyone they found. Now, there were a couple of commanders that thought this was all wrong, and they held their men back and would not let them shoot. So if you want to know more details, it gets pretty grisly. Just Google Sand Creek Massacre. And not many years ago, a letter from each one of the men was found in a state archive somewhere. And they go into quite a bit of detail about what happened that day. And actually, I think there was quite a bit of public uproar after the massacre. Military court-martials. Again, I don't remember all the details. If you want to dig into more details, just Google. It's easy to find. Sorry, that's all I've got. No markers, plaques, no reading of signs at the actual site. Maybe next time. Okay, I've got one more place that I'm going to stop before I wrap all this up. So let's get on the road. Oh, I found a sign here by the main road. So in April and May of 1864, the U.S. Army makes 4 unprovoked attacks on Cheyenne villages and begins a period of conflict and confusion known as the Indian Wars of 1864. In September, a group of Cheyenne and Arapaho chiefs meet with Governor Evans and Colonel Shevington in Denver. The chiefs are directed to move to their treaty reservation to demonstrate their peaceful intent. Mid-October, a chief's village of approximately 750 Cheyenne and Arapaho assembles at Sand Creek on the northern edge of the treaty reservation. And then the Army attacked anyway. November 29, 1864. At dawn, Shivington orders troops to attack the village at Sand Creek. Soldiers massacre over 230 Cheyenne and Arapaho, including 150 women, children, and elderly. 14 Cheyenne council chiefs are among the dead. Here it talks about Sand Creek has never been forgotten. Stories have been passed down from generation to generation. And in 1998, tribal officials working with the National Park Service located the site of the massacre, and a historic site was opened in 2007. Cheyenne and Arapaho tribal members visit annually to honor the victims and survivors and for the healing of ancestral lands. And this is simply a painting of what someone thinks the Sand Creek Massacre would have been like. And it was in November, so the snow is probably appropriate. Look at that beautiful scenery. I got to get to Kansas tonight, so got to get on the road. Annie Oakley Motel in Oakley, Kansas. From time to time I like to try an independent motel, and usually I'm pleasantly surprised, and that's the case here. Very clean, a nice room, fast internet. I think they've got fiber. I uploaded a 13 gigabyte video in like 40 minutes. Let's wake up Silvia. Morning, how you doing? It's day 20 of our adventure. Good morning. It's 48 degrees. We're about 3,000 feet in elevation. We're in Oakley, Kansas. Tonight we'll be in Independence, Missouri, where we started the Oregon Trail a few days ago. I'll get that count later. But going to meet a Facebook friend for lunch, and we're headed toward home every day. Let's get on the road. 5,305 miles, and I'm back where I started. Independence, Missouri. 18 days. Rode to the Oregon coast and back and beat a snowstorm. I took a picture here 18 days ago. Here the Oregon Trail began, and I rode it all the way to the other end. Ridden the entire Oregon Trail. And I should probably have something very pithy to say about that, but I'm kind of tired. But I'm so happy that I did it. It has been a barrel of fun and some work. I've been in all kinds of weather. Yesterday was the first day that the temperature got back up out of the 50s in over a week and a half. I met a bunch of neat people on this trip. Something about an old bearded guy in a cowboy hat just makes folks want to come up and talk to me. And everyone has been so nice, asking about where I'm from, where I'm going, how far have I driven. I paid a visit to some family friends, Kathy and Gary in Washington. I showed up and Kathy said, "Have you had lunch?" And I said, "No." She said, "Well, I figured I'd have to feed you." And she did. And we chatted for a while, and I just felt like laying down on her couch and taking a nap. They made me feel so welcome. And then today I met a Facebook friend, well, a guy I've met on 40 Phoenix ride, and he actually said that my videos and posts motivated him to take the next ride, the next year's 40 Phoenix ride. And we've become pretty good friends on Facebook. And I stopped and we had pizza buffet and talked for about an hour and a half. We could have talked all afternoon about just motorcycles and trips that we've taken and trips we want to take. Now it's time to go home to Lori. It's about 1,100 miles, I think, from here. It took me 2 days to get here, but that was 2 days of hard riding. I'm going to take 3 days to go back. Swing through eastern Kentucky, see a few folks. I'll get back on Sunday. It's been a good ride. And for anyone that's watched the videos until right now, thank you. I really appreciate it. I've got less than 1,300 subscribers and I make $1 a day. So I'm getting rich at YouTube. Good morning, Silvia. We are in Independence, Missouri, where we started our journey on the Oregon Trail. Tonight we'll be in Mount Vernon, where that is, Indiana, Illinois. I don't know what the temperature is, but it's hot. Don't know the elevation. And there's nothing to see today. I'm just ready to be home. So let's get on the road. Silvia had some company last night. Good morning, Silvia. We got one more morning to go. So this must be day 22. We're in Mount Vernon, Indiana or Illinois, I can't remember. But tonight we'll be in Paintsville, Kentucky, not far from where I grew up. And then tomorrow we'll be home. That's it. Don't know what the temperature is, don't know the elevation. It's cool. I gotta put on my jacket. We got about 400 miles to go today, so we better get on the road. But first, I gotta get a biscuit. Good morning, Silvia. Today's our final day, day 23. We're in Paintsville, Kentucky. We will be home tonight, North Kakalaki. About 400 miles to go. Then you can take a long rest. So let's get on the road. Well, Silvia, we're home again. 22 nights. 23 days, the Oregon Trail all the way to the Pacific coast and back, 7,602 miles. And you never hiccuped a single time. Now it's time for a well-deserved rest for both of us. Till next time, we are home. The grass needs to be cut, which I told her not to mess with it. I'd get it when I got back. Hey, my love! We are home. And I had a blast. I'm really glad that I rode the Oregon Trail again this year and finished the parts that I did not get last year. Met a bunch of wonderful people, just had a great time. And I talked about the snow and the sleet and hail, but actually I'd rather ride in the spring and take a chance on hitting that kind of weather than dealing with 100-degree temperatures or 110 or 120. I just don't deal with that well. I often get comments about what the trip cost. And in the last couple of years, I've listed the expenses for the trips. I'm going to do that this year. So motels for 22 nights, but I got one motel free because of rewards points. Total expense for the motels, $1,799. I spent $872 on gas. I got an average of 32.58 miles per gallon on Silvia, and the average price that I paid was $3.74 a gallon. Then miscellaneous, things like food, just random things that I bought for whatever reason. I spent $545. So the total expense for the whole trip was $3,216, which is not bad for 23 days on the road. One guy asked me what I had to do to the bike while I was on the road, and the answer is nothing. I did nothing but put gas in it, and I'll change the oil. I need a new front tire, and I'm ready to hit it again. The Honda Goldwing is a beast. You just don't have to worry about the Goldwing. The trailer, I almost lost the license tag. The license tag holder for the trailer vibrates too much, and it broke the holes where I mounted the metal plate to the holder. So I'm going to mount that to my bed rail bumper that I have on the trailer. I did that on the other one and it worked great. So that will solve that problem. Had no issues with the trailer, nothing. And that's kind of why I like traveling on the Goldwing, is there's not many things that can go wrong. We have an RV fifth wheel camper that we travel in, and we absolutely love it, but there's 100 things that can go wrong at any minute with a home rolling down the road at 70 miles an hour. Between the truck and the camper, tires, suspension, there's lots of things that can go wrong. And we've had a few problems over the years. Nothing serious, but it can kind of ruin a day. The Goldwing, never worry about that, just worry free. So I want to thank everyone that made it this far watching my videos. I've had fun doing them, and as I tell everyone, when I get old and can't ride anymore, I'm going to relive my adventures through watching my videos. So thank you very much, and see you next time. But wait, there's one more thing that I want to show you on our website, ourretirementantics.com. Go to blog topics, and down here you'll notice that I have visited 104 sites on the Oregon, California, Mormon trails in the last 2 years. Click on the link and you'll see a listing of all those sites with a thumbnail and some links. And if you click on one of these links right here, it will take you to the blog for that day and show you other sites that I visited on that same day, as well as a track log for that day, showing all the places that I visited. And if you like maps, you're going to love this. Go to Maps and this link here, and you'll see every site that I've visited in the past 2 years on these trails. Go up here and click Oregon Trail, and you'll see the trail as designated by the National Park Service. If you want to see the California Trail, just click this one, Mormon Trail, etc. And if you really, really like maps, go to this one. Here I've got track logs and the same information as the other map for every trip that I've taken where I had a GPS with me. So click the drop down, National Historic Trails, and that's this trip this year. So you'll see here the little campfire icons are motels I stayed in. Of course, the wagon icons are the trail sites. The star is just simply an interesting place that I stopped at. And the little camera icon indicates photos taken at that location. Now you can declutter this by getting rid of some stuff. Get rid of the motels, get rid of the wagons, get rid of the interesting places. Now we have track logs and photos. And you can click any photo and you'll get a pop-up showing photos taken at that point on the trail. If you get rid of that, all we have now is a track log. And as you zoom in, you get more and more detail. And the colors just simply represent different days. The red was one day, the blue was the next. So I hope you have fun.